Welcome friends, in this video let's discuss about the issue of global warming. For videos on climate change and greenhouse effect, please watch my previous videos and come back here. It makes sense, okay? You will understand more more clearly, okay? Let's look at the definition of global warming. Global warming is the increase in the average temperature of the earth's near air and ocean since the mid 20th century and its projected continuation. So global warming is the increase in the average temperature of the earth's near surface air and oceans, okay, since the mid 20th century. So since mid 20th century there has been an increase in the earth's temperature both in the air as well as the oceans, and it is also continuing, okay? So this is called global warming. And the global surface temperature from the past 100 years increased by about 0.8 degrees Celsius. So since for the past 100 years there has been an increase of the global temperature at the rate of 0.8 degrees Celsius, okay? And Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that is the IPCC, which is the authority on global warming and climate change related issues, concluded that anthropogenic, that is the human sourced, anthropo means human beings, genic means generated, okay, human source greenhouse gases are responsible for most of the observed temperature increase since the middle of the 20th century. So there has been doubts about whether the present increase in the global temperature is due to human interferences or due to natural events, but IPCC research and its reports shows that the anthropogenic greenhouse gas are responsible for most of the observed temperature increase since the middle 20th century. And natural phenomena such as solar variation, okay, variation in the solar radiation that is received by the earth, and volcanic activities, tectonic activities probably had a small warming effect from the pre-industrial times to 1950 and a small cooling effect from the 1950 onwards. So this is not a major issue. These natural events or long-term events, they will not cause much interference in the global warming issues. The major issue here is that of the anthropogenic sources of greenhouse gases. So the IPCC, as I mentioned earlier, is the authority in the matters related to global warming and climate change. It is releasing various reports related to climate change in the form of assessment reports. So it released 5 assessment reports from starting from 1988. So the recent is 2014 assessment report. So this is the 5th assessment report. In that, the scientists were more than 95% certain that most of the global warming is caused by increasing concentration of the greenhouse gases and other human activities like deforestation and other industrial activities. So this graph shows that the increase in the temperature on the earth as well as the ocean, okay, since 1880s. So here the mean temperature of 1950 is taken as the mean, okay? So whatever the variation that is happening on this 1950 temperature is depicted in this graph, okay? Till 1950 there has been a decrease and increase in the temperature on the surface of the land and oceans on the earth, but from 1950s there has been a gradual increase in the temperature of the earth, okay, from 0 mean to 0.8 degrees Celsius. So there has been a 0.8 degrees Celsius increase in the mean temperature of the earth and land since 1950s. So this is a serious issue. And the IPCC 5th report also concluded that the climate model projections summarized in the report indicate that during the 21st century, that is the for the period of up to 2100, okay, the global surface temperature is likely to rise a further 0.3 to 1.7 degrees Celsius, okay, if at all, if there is mitigation measures undertaken by various countries in the form of adoption of renewable energy sources and reduction of crude oil and fossil fuel utilization and adopting various green technologies, okay, if all these measures are taken, there will be an increase in global temperature at the rate of 0.3 to 1.7 degrees Celsius by 2100. But if there is no actions taken in the areas of climate change and other related issues, there will be an increase of 2.6 to 4.8 degrees Celsius by 2100. So it is concluded that Earth would be safe till the level of 2 degrees Celsius. Okay, increase in the temperature. If it causes the 2 degrees Celsius increase from the mean temperature, that would be creating devastating effect in the form of fluctuation in the climatic conditions and excessive weather phenomena like flooding, droughts, and retreating of glaciers. Okay, all these events will happen when the Earth's temperature crosses 2 degrees Celsius above. But as I mentioned earlier, if there is no action taken by the international committee in community in mitigating the greenhouse gas emissions, then there will be an increase in the global average temperature from 2.6 to 4.8 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. So this is a serious issue. Okay, and this shows the emission of carbon dioxide and equivalent gases to the atmosphere from 1990s to 2010. So this data is given by the IPCC. So in 1990 there was 20 billion ton of fossil fuel carbon dioxide emitted into the atmosphere, but it has been increased very sharply to 32 billion. Okay, 32 billion in 2010. So please remember these two numbers. Okay, billion ton. Okay, you can use in the examinations. Okay, and let's look at the impact of the global warming on the planet Earth. So this has been discussed in the climate change video. So I am listing the main points. Please, if you want in detail, please go to that video. So I am explaining shortly. Okay, these events include rising sea level, changing precipitation and expansion of the deserts in the subtropics. Warming is expected to be greatest in the Arctic, with a continuation of the retreat of glaciers, that is the melting of glaciers, permafrost and sea ice. So this is also increases the sea level because of the glaciers are melting. And extreme weather events including heat waves, drought, heavy rainfall and heavy snowfall. These are all the extreme weather events that are associated with the global warming. Okay, and oceanic acidification and species extinction due to shifting temperature regimes. So certain species are adjusted to certain climatic conditions. If there is a temperature fluctuation, then that will result in the species extinction. And it is more serious in case of oceans, because ocean there is a balanced temperature because of the specific heat of water is very high. So even a slight fluctuation in the temperature of the ocean lead to extinction of the oceanic species, and threat to food security from decreasing crop yield because of the temperature and climatic variations, and abandonment of populated areas due to flooding. As I mentioned in that video, most of the populated cities and well-developed cities are located on the coastal areas, okay, adjacent to oceans like Mumbai, Kolkata, New York, Tokyo, Beijing. So this lead to abandonment of populated area due to flooding and other climate related events. So these are the anticipated impacts of global warming. So let's look at the warmest years that has been recorded through instrumentation. So through instruments since 1950s, the temperature has been recorded continuously without any fail. Okay, and these statistics reveal that 9 of the 10 warmest years in the instrumentation record occurred since 2000 to 2014. So recent years are the warmest years throughout the history. Okay, throughout the history recorded in the instruments, okay, being the warmest year on record. And 2014 was also the 38th consecutive year with above average temperature. So since the past 38 years there has been the above average temperature recorded on the earth. Okay, so this is another serious issue. And let's look at the concept of external forcing. Certain factors like natural as well as man-made can influence the climatic events and can make the climate to move towards warming or cooling. Certain events may make the climate warmer, okay, and certain events can make the climate cooler. Okay, these are called external forcings. So let's look at the first factor here, the greenhouse gases. If there is an increase in the greenhouse gases, that is leading to warmer climate. Okay, and solar luminosity, the energy emitted from the sun. If there is more energy emitted, if there is more solar luminosity, then there will be more warming of the climate. And volcanic eruption, okay, volcanic eruptions releases the sulfates into the atmosphere. So volcanic eruptions contains very ashes. These sulfates are released into the atmosphere. They are acting as a blanket. They reflect most of the solar radiation back to the atmosphere, outer atmosphere, thereby cooling the earth. Okay, so the volcanic eruptions are causing the cooler climatic conditions for a temporary period of time. So this is the one thing. And variation in the earth's orbit around the sun. So earth's orbit will are fluctuating seasonally, not seasonally, periodically, over a long period of time. So this variation in the earth's orbit around the sun may also influence the earth's climatic condition over a long period of time, more than 10 20,000 years. Okay, so the variation in the orbital cycle may produce glacial period. Okay, and in the next 50,000 years, after 50,000 years, there will be again, earth will witness the second glaciation period. Okay, we have witnessed the glaciation period during pleistocene stage of the earth, that is 2 million years ago. Okay, and next glaciation period will be witnessed after 50,000 years from now. So this, what is this variation in the orbital cycle of the earth? So we know that the earth is revolving around the sun, so it is revolving in an elliptic orbit. So in the process, it is shifting its elliptical orbit. Look at the shiftness here. Here it is shifting, so it is moving away from the sun during certain variations. So during these events, certain climatic events like glaciations will happen. So this is a long process, maybe 40 or 50,000 years once. So this is the thing here about the variation in the Earth's elliptic orbit. So let's look at the greenhouse gases. So these are all the 6 important greenhouse gases which are causing the global warming right now, and these are also listed in the Kyoto Protocol. Okay, Annex A of the Kyoto Protocol. I'm going to cover this in a separate video about the UNFCCC and Kyoto Protocol. For the time being, I am listing these 6 greenhouse gases. These include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, and sulfur hexachloride. Please remember these gases by heart. It may be handy while writing examinations. And let's look at the global cooling. Okay, particulates and soot. Okay, the soot ashes, okay, released into the atmosphere may cause global cooling. This event is called global dimming. Okay, a gradual reduction in the amount of global direct irradiance at the Earth's surface was observed from 1961 until 1990. So this soot and other particulates resulted in reduction in the irradiance at the Earth's surface. So solar energy is received very less when compared to normal events during the release of these particulates and soot into the atmosphere. So the main cause of the dimming is particulates produced by the volcanoes and human-made pollutants, which exerts a cooling effect, okay, by increasing the reflection of the incoming sunlight. So these particulates and soot which cover the lower atmosphere, they reflect the solar radiation back into the atmosphere, thereby causing the cooling climatic condition. This has happened since from 1961 to 1990. So the lifetime of these particulates and soots is very less. Okay, it may be from in the matter of weeks. Okay, but carbon dioxide has a lifetime of century, as I discussed in my previous video. So carbon dioxide is the major deciding factor in the global climatic events, and these particulates and soot causes both cooling as well as the warming effect, depending upon the deposition, place of deposition. So if these particulate matter are suspended in the atmosphere, it will resulting in the cooling, okay, because it reflects solar radiation back into the atmosphere. Okay, and if the same particulate matter and soot deposit on the ice as well as the glaciers, it will create warming effect. How? Because these glaciers receives the solar energy. Since these glaciers are in white color, they reflect most of the energy back to the atmosphere. So white color do not absorb the energy. Okay, and if there is a deposition of the soot on the glaciers, since these are black in color, the solar energy is absorbed, unlike before. Okay, and absorption of solar energy causing heat, and this may result in the melting of the ice. Okay, So this is another phenomenon here. So this is it about global warming. I'm going to cover the greenhouse gases in detail and other convention in the separate videos later. Please like the video, share it on Facebook so that it can reach more people who are preparing for the civil service examination. So please don't be a passive visitor to my website. Please contribute from your side, spreading the word of free education. Okay, and please subscribe to the channel for more videos and updates. Thank you. Thanks for watching.